so many questions. I'm afraid. Should I follow religion or should I go? What is true? Is there a way straight? How can I know truth?
Welcome back, everyone, to An Ordinary Search for Truth and to part 6 of my video series, What is Reality? Awareness and Its Activity. My name is Nate, and today we'll be looking at the final polarization that happens within the self, the polarization of fear. Previously, we've defined fear as the belief that things can be removed from ourself or from our fundamental identity. Throughout our lives, we become very attached to things and merge them with our sense of self or our sense of identity. We identify with our body and fear that it may become damaged or lose its ability to function. We identify with our wealth and our possessions and fear losing them or having them taken from us. We identify with our relationships that we have and fear losing the people that we care about or our connection and our communication with them. These are just a few things that we might have that we could be attached to or identified with that can invoke fear within us. Fear, when polarized, becomes a spectrum in the same way that desire, when polarized, becomes a spectrum between comfort and excitement. The spectrum of fear ranges between the fear of lack and the fear of death. To begin, let's take a look at the fear of death in our own personal experience, which is the more extreme end of the spectrum of fear. So go ahead and take a deep breath. Really center yourself in the moment. Really become aware of your body, sensations, sights, sounds, all of these things. This next part may be difficult, so definitely prepare yourself. We're going to be exploring our perception of death. Now, I want you to imagine that for some reason, in the next minute, your body is going to fail. It doesn't have to be painful or gruesome or anything like that. Just imagine that your body is going to cease functioning, fall to the ground, and you're going to experience death. Really try to visualize this in as much vivid detail as possible and pay very close attention to what feelings and thoughts arise within you when you do. Do you feel a sense of fear or resistance rising within you? If so, what does that feel like? Where in the body do you experience this? Okay, let's do one more visualization. If you've ever experienced the passing of a loved one, this visualization may be extremely painful, so you're welcome to skip ahead a minute or so in order to avoid this if it's too painful for you. Okay, if you're ready for this visualization, go ahead and close your eyes and imagine that you're about to receive a phone call informing you that someone you love has just passed away. Again, pay close attention to what feelings and thoughts arise within you while you're doing this. It's okay to feel what you're feeling, no matter how strong. Just sit with this for a moment and remain aware of your inner state when you do this. These exercises are meant to put you face to face with death, which in day to day life most of us rarely experience. And this is so that you can really see how you perceive death, how attached you are to life, and how strong the fear of death can be for you, both emotionally and mentally. Good job. Thank you for going there with me. I know it can be difficult. Death is at root the fear of losing your life, or the fear of losing your very existence, the fear that everything that you are could end. There's a lot of speculation and belief surrounding what death is like and what may lie in store for us afterwards. But since most of us have not actually experienced death, it remains a great unknown at the end of the road. Much of the fear associated with facing death is actually a direct result of a lack of understanding about what we fundamentally are. If we knew that, then we would know exactly what was in store for us at the moment of our death. If we are just a living organism and our existence depends upon the functioning of the body, then death would simply be the turning off of the body, and thus the turning off of us. We would cease to be as an experiencer. If we are something metaphysical that merely exists within a physical body, then what is this metaphysical thing that we are? A spirit? A soul? Consciousness? What would it be like to continue to exist as this thing after the body passes away or ceases functioning? Most of us don't investigate this fully or assume that what we are can't be known and that what happens after death or right at the moment of death can't be known either. So we fear the end of what we are because we don't know what we are. But deep down, I think that the majority of us assume that we are limited, that we are this body, and thus that there is an end, that death is guaranteed, and we really want to go on. The fear of death can be the most potent fear. There's almost nothing that someone wouldn't do to avoid imminent death. We want to live and stay alive more than anything. In this modern world, however, those of us in more developed countries are rarely faced with imminent death. Food, water, shelter, medical aid, all of these things are typically readily available to us. Most of us don't wake up in the morning wondering if we'll make it through the day or if today could be our last. The fear of death can definitely motivate a lot of what we do in typically more subtle ways. But for the most part, it is the fear of lack on the opposite end of the spectrum that plays a massively motivating role in our lives. The fear of lack is not a fear that we will lose what we are, but that what we are or what we have is not enough. Once again, let's go into our direct personal experience of the fear of lack in our lives. This can also be a very difficult thing to become fully aware of. So prepare yourself, proceed with caution. All right, so let's take another deep breath and center ourselves in the moment. Become aware of the room that you're in and the experience that you're having. Become aware of your inner state. Now, I want you to search your memories for a time when you didn't feel like you were enough. A time of potent insecurity, you might say. Perhaps you already feel that right now. If so, allow that feeling to flow through you and really experience it fully. If you need to go into your memories to search for a time when you felt like this, go ahead and do that now. Really visualize it. And again, let it flow through you. Feel it fully. We've all felt this, where we feel that we are lacking, that what we are or what we have isn't enough for somebody or isn't enough for ourselves. Become aware of what this feels like in the body and what thoughts may be arising with it. Often memories arise associated with this. Go ahead and let them come. Let them play out. Become aware of them. Don't resist the experience. Let it flow within you and feel what you feel. And sit with that feeling for a bit. Thank you. I know this pain in particular can run very deep and be very strong. So I appreciate you doing this with me. We get so attached and identified with aspects of our personality and things that we've acquired in life that we have identified with. And the fear of losing those valuable things is definitely strong, but if they lose their value in the eyes of others or in the eyes of ourselves, that can be much more devastating. The fear of lack is the fear that we will lose fundamental value. And this is a very real fear in most of our lives, where value in the eyes of the world is ever changing, unstable, and most of the time superficial. Yet we often look to the outside world for this sense of value. We want to live, firstly, but we also want our life to be one of value. We want to mean something, not just to ourselves, but also to others. The difficult thing is that value is subjective, and really the only person that can give value to anything is you. It's your life. You're the subject. Value is completely in your eyes as the beholder. We lose sight of this, though, over the years, and we start believing that our view of ourselves is not as accurate as the view that other people have of us, the view that our parents have, the view that our teachers have, the view that our friends and our peers have. That takes on more and more weight as we grow. And when we inevitably can't please everyone or be enough for everyone, that can create very deep-seated insecurities. And I think all of us can really relate to this. The fear of lack or of not being enough can take hold of our lives. And if enough people tell us enough times that we aren't enough, then we start to believe it. Sadly, this taken to the extreme can lead to suicidal thoughts and suicidal actions. A person can come to believe so deeply that their life isn't of value, that they're not worth anything to anyone, that they start to believe that their life is just not worth living. This is a place that no one should ever find themselves in. If you have ever felt like this, or if you feel like this now, I don't know if there's anything that I can say that can help, but there are people who can. Please reach out to someone that can help you. The people who have made you believe that you aren't enough are only projecting onto you their own deep-seated insecurities. They don't feel like they're enough. And so they project that into the lives of everyone that they know. They try to make everyone else feel like they're not enough to validate their own feelings. But it's just not true. Every living being, just by being alive, by being conscious, by simply existing, is absolutely enough. The fear of death and the fear of lack are both a result of the belief that we are limited, separate entities, and that we are fragile, that we are small, that we are mortal. And as such, we have much to fear. But this is just a belief. You can rise above the suffering, above the insecurity and the fear in your life by realizing the truth about awareness. I challenge you to discover the truth about who you are and what you are, because you are infinitely more than you currently think that you are. And in reality, the real you has nothing to fear. You do not lack anything and never will. You were not born and you cannot die. Thank you so much for watching part 6. I hope that you enjoy what I'm doing here on my channel, and if you do, go ahead and hit a like down below. And if you would like to see these videos as they're released and be notified about them, go ahead, click the subscribe button down below. I've got a lot more content to come. I'd love to hear from you with a comment down below, so feel free to do that. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Don't worry, I've got a lot more content for you to enjoy. Click the link to the right to see a video that goes hand in hand with what you just watched. On the left is a playlist I recommend you check out. And down below you can see my latest video release. Your support means the world to me, so thank you.